Yo, what's up? It's me. It's your boy. It's Donnie. Welcome. This is a little update video and a little showing off kind of video. As you can see, I have a new PC. This is my new computer right here. The thing that has caused me much trouble and has stopped me from making content and streaming. Yeah, I guess I don't know where to start this video. I haven't really planned this video all that much, but I guess I'll go into basically what has happened a little bit, and then I'll show off my PC, and then I'll let you know about content and all that kind of stuff. So I started buying stuff for this computer the whole year, basically from earlier this year. I've been buying parts pretty much I think for most of the year. Sometime earlier this year, I can't really remember, to be honest, when I first bought like the first part to upgrade it. It was probably like start to mid this year, probably around like May or something like that. So yeah. I started buying parts from that, and then finally about a month and a half ago, I'd say now, maybe even a month and a half to 2 months, I finally got all the parts together and I started putting it together. Took me a few days because I'd never put a computer together from scratch, and I wanted to make sure that I got everything right, and I wasn't really doing it the whole day. I was doing it a little bit here and there, so it took me a few days. Anyways, by the time I put it together, I plugged it in and it wasn't working. And I was just like, what the hell is going on? So anyways, I took it to the computer store. I took it to the computer store that's nearby. I'm not going to say which one because I don't want to expose myself with whereabouts I live, kind of. But anyways, I took it out and they tested out and that there was something wrong with the motherboard. So I had to take the motherboard back to where I got it from, which is Centacom. And if you've ever heard of Centacom in Australia, I don't know if you're in Victoria, never go to them because they are the worst. I'm never buying parts of them again because they're just a pain to deal with. I took it there and I said that there's something wrong with my motherboard, my computer's not switching on, I plugged everything in correctly. Because when I took it to the guy, he was like, you've done everything right, there's nothing wrong with your computer. Like, I mean, there's nothing that you did wrong, it's the motherboard, because they tested the RAM and everything and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, I took it to the Centacom where I got the PC, where I got the motherboard from, and during that time I was still streaming because I'll tell you about it's not 100% new. Majority of the parts are new, but some of them aren't, and you'll find out which parts aren't. There's only like a couple parts that are literally not new, but everything else is brand spanking new in this PC. So I took it there, and it took them about 4 days, and then when I picked it up, they said that they had done nothing to it. When that was bullshit because I plugged it back in and it was, but when I sent it back to them, it was, it ended up working. But the reason why it took even longer is because one, I took a little bit long to go to send it back to the computer store to get it put together because I wanted to get a couple other smaller pieces for it. I wanted to get like sleeve cables and stuff like that, so I ended up getting those. Obviously from PCK scale because they're a lot better than Centacom when it comes to customer service and all that kind of stuff. So I sent it to them. I got stuff from them, and then by the time I got it to them, I sent it to the computer store to get put back together. Then, when I was like, this is when I stopped streaming. This is when I stopped streaming. When I sent it back to the computer store to get put together, my standoffs, which are the screws that you put your motherboard, you connect them to your motherboard, and then you put your CPU cooler on top of it. It's what screws your fucking CPU cooler to the motherboard. Those were missing, and they were on the board, but I didn't realize that Centacom had probably taken them off, or they misplaced them, or I misplaced them. I don't know who misplaced them. I don't know where the fuck they went. But anyways, I had to call NZXT because that is the CPU cooler that I use. I had to call them to come I had to contact them, and they sent me new screws. Anyways, by the time I got those, it took about like less than a week, which is actually pretty good. NZXT is actually really good to deal with. It took less than a week by the time those came in. I sent my PC, and then I sent my PC back to the computer store to get put together. Then it finally got put together last week. Finally picked up the final product on Friday. And then, when I got it back, my PC was freezing constantly. As you can see, I've got a quick clicker on the background because I'm obsessed with this freaking game. But it kept freezing on me the whole weekend. I reinstalled Windows onto my computer, I changed settings, I tried to do so much and it kept freezing. So I had to send it back to the computer store yesterday, from the time recording this, not time uploading this. I had to send it back to the computer store, and I was like, listen, my PC's freezing. I don't know what the hell it is. I was convinced it was the motherboard, and I had to get a new one because I already had issues with it beforehand. I was convinced that it was the motherboard that was making my computer freeze. And then today, when he called me up, he said that the thing that was fucking up, because I am upstairs in my room, while Wi-Fi's downstairs, we rent, so you can't like run any Ethernet cables up here. I pay to get fucking Ethernet cable into my room, but he said it was my Wi-Fi adapter that I have. Now I for my old one, because that doesn't have a motherboard that has its own Wi-Fi connector, I bought a Wi-Fi adapter, an Asus one, and they're pretty old. They were very reliable. I think they're Wi-Fi, but for some reason, I think it's because it was old. It was not compatible with this motherboard because of how old the adapters are, and because of that, it was actually making my computer freeze. A fucking adapter was making my computer freeze. So literally, once you took that out, it's working. It's 100% working now. The motherboard itself already had a Wi-Fi adapter, so I just used that one. I plugged it into this setup because I liked it better. It's like the 4 Pong ones that you probably, if you go onto any of my social media, and if I've posted my computer in the past, one of my TikToks literally has it. You'd be able to see it's like a. Where is it? Oh, it's this. I've literally put it back into my old setup. See if I get this right here. Can't because it's connected to it, but yeah, that thing right there. But this is like a Wi-Fi 4, where the one in my motherboard is a Wi-Fi 6. So even though it's smaller, you can't even see it. It's just like tucked around behind there. I'm not gonna bother grabbing it. I'll probably show you it when I show off my PC. Yeah, it's just like a small little one, but it's a Wi-Fi 6, so it's actually a lot better. I didn't know that. Not that far when it comes to Wi-Fi adapters and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so it's finally working. Yeah, it's been a massive ordeal with that. So yeah, everything's finally working. My PC's finally working. I've had it running the whole day. He tested it out. I tested it out when I went to the computer store to see if there was anything actually wrong with it. It's fine. I booted up a couple games. I've been running stuff all day. I've literally been having fucking Cookie Clicker running all day, so it's absolutely fine. So yeah. So before I get into when I'm going to be streaming and making content again, I'm going to show off my PC. So let's go. Let's have a little sneak peek of what the hell I bought and what's inside this little thing here. So yeah, as you can see, it's different. If you've ever seen one of my old setups, it's different. I actually have it now platformed up, which is really, really cool. But let's go. Let's get into it. Right. Oh damn it. Alrighty, here we go. This is me showing off my PC. I'm very awkward with it. So yeah, when it comes to everything in here is completely brand spanking new. The only thing, there's 2 things. One, my hard drives, which you can see are just under there. I have to pull out this little thing here so I can get more, fit another big fan in. My hard drives and my GPU. GPU is not new. It's a 2070 Super. It's still really good. The reason why I haven't got the 30 series yet is because they're expensive as fucking hell. The one that I want an MSI 3080 Ti. They're like $3,000. That's fucking not cheap at all. But yeah, those are the only things that are new. All right, first off, we'll start with the case. The case is a Fractal Design XL. Fractal Design Meshify 2 XL. It's an XL case. I wanted to get it just because of airflow, more or less. The bigger the case, the more airflow you're going to get, the more fans you're going to be able to fit in. The fans that I got, I could have gotten like a better fans or anything like that, but I just got Fractal Design fans just because, you know, I wanted them to more or less suit the case, and I feel like they do really well. They're a little bit loud. I don't know if you can really hear them all that much. If I just shut up for a split second. They're a little bit louder than my old one because my old one was like a silent case. It's not meant to hear it at all. But yeah, these are just like the RGB Fractal Design ones. I've got 5 of them, so I've got 3 at the front, 1 at the back, and then there's a little one at the bottom there as well, just to keep everything cool underneath the power supply and the hard drives as well. Yeah, they're the RGB ones. The ones that you get with the case are not RGB, and you gotta make things look pretty these days. It's all about the RGB lights. Not really, but anyways. Onto the RAM. The RAM that I got is the Corsair Platinum Dominators. When it's come to RAM, I have always gotten Corsair. Their Vengeance series is really, really good. Their Platinum series, the Platinum Dominators, are like a step up from their Vengeance and I just really wanted to get them. I've always wanted them. They're not cheap, but they're really good. These ones, I've only got 2 sticks because these are 64. They're 32 gigs each, so 64 all up. And I really want to, at some point in the future, get 128 gigs. But I wasn't going to buy it all straight away, like I said, because it's not cheap. So I was like, I'll just get 2 sticks for now, and then at some later point, I will eventually get another 2 sticks to put in there and get some extra memory going. The motherboard is, man, this motherboard's cost me so much. It's an Aorus Rogue. Oh, I can't remember exactly. It's the only thing that I keep forgetting. It's an X570E gaming. I'm pretty sure. I think that's the right one. Yeah, it's an Aorus Rogue X570E. The X570 motherboards for AMD, which I am running, is really good. The X570s are really good motherboards. They're not too expensive either. They can get really expensive, but they're not too expensive. But they're really good if you want to run like decently high-end setup. The CPU that I am running a AMD Ryzen 9 5900X Ryzen 9. That CPU is what I was contemplating, 5950, but they're a little bit overkill, and the price difference between 5900 and 5950 is a decent amount. So I was just like, I'm gonna stick with the 5900 because it's still just as good. Obviously not as good, but it's pretty close to it, so I stuck with that. The CPU cooler that I'm running is the Kraken X73. Now, when it came to CPU coolers, in terms of liquid cooling, I wasn't really sure with it. I've always gone with fans, but for this one I went with CPU liquid cooling, just so I could have a little bit more free space in the case and more or less, but it looks really good. At a later point, I realized that you can get these as RGB, which I'm kind of shouted about, but it is what it is. You know, like I said, pretty colors. They don't really mean much, but it's only like $50 extra for pretty lights, which I don't have, but like I said, it is what it fucking is. Alrighty. Next step is the my power supply, which you can't see, and you can obviously see all the cables and stuff like that running to it and from it. But I have got a Corsair, which once again, when it's come to my RAM and my power supply, I've always gone with Corsair because I trust them and they're really good, especially power supplies. If you want to build a computer, RAM you can get whatever you want, but power supplies, Corsair is literally the best and the only brand you should be getting when it comes to getting power supplies. I've got, I can't remember the exact one, but it's a gold and it's a 1000 watt Corsair that I'm running. So I'm running 1000 watts in these. You don't really need 1000 watts, but because I want to get a 30 series, because I wanted to get a decently high-end setup, I got a 1000 watt just to more or less be safe when it came to a lot of things. And yeah, that's basically everything. The only other things that I've got, as you can see from my old setup, I did not have this, but I've now got my GPU sideways because the case could do it. And I've got I just bought a Fractal Design PCI cable that's running down there into it like that. So yeah, that's basically the whole setup. I am absolutely in love with this computer so much. It's definitely a step up from my old one in terms of specs and all that kind of stuff. I just can't wait till I plug in a 30 series in there, because when the case is on, you know, once I put a 30 series into this thing is going to look absolutely fucking amazing. But yeah, that's it, and I'll take it back and I'll outro the video and let you know what I'm going to be streaming next. Alright guys, that right there is the setup. Yeah, it's really cool. As I said, the only thing that I want to improve on it is getting a 30 series, but they're expensive as hell at the moment, like I said. So yeah, I'm just gonna wait a little bit until I get a 30 series, but otherwise, man, the setup is a beast. Honestly, it's pretty high end. It's not like the highest end you can get. Obviously, with the CPU, you can get like a Threadripper and all that kind of stuff, but that's just like overkill if you have a lot of money, and I do not have that kind of money. But yeah, when it comes to making content, on this computer, I do not have like my Adobe, my Streamlabs. I don't even think it's set up properly. I don't have OBS set up. Yeah, I don't have like my Adobe, so my Premiere or my Photoshop installed yet from when I'm recording this. And I want to upload this video, just a little update. So I'm probably not going to start streaming and uploading like properly again until like maybe Saturday. This weekend I probably will. Like on Saturday, I'll probably start my stream up again and stuff like that. So yeah, that's it. That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Just a little update, a little show off, and a little story time of my fucking ordeal with my computer that made me want to wreck myself constantly. But yeah, that's it guys. I'll be streaming and making content again shortly.